Guys, thanks for coming to my YouTube channel, and if this is your first time here, you are so welcome. So I have an amazing topic for you guys today that we are going to discuss. As you can see on the topic, it's how God bless a business. So have you ever wondered, okay, then how do I know that God is blessing my business? How do I know that God is working in my business? So this is the topic I'm going to be discussing today and help you guys to really understand how to know that God is blessing your business, because I believe this is going to help so many people. Because I always used to ask this question myself. I'll be praying, and then sometimes we pray but we don't know how the blessing looks like. That is the problem. You find yourself that you are praying for something, but maybe you're already blessed. Maybe the blessing is already happening, but because you don't know how it looks like, you feel as if you're not receiving the blessing, as if your prayer is not being answered. So hopefully on today's discussion, I'm going to help you to try to understand how to know that God is blessing your business. So when we think about God blessing us, and sometimes we tend to have a habit of thinking like when God blesses us, we just have to see this magnificent big result straight away. Like, let's say you're praying for increase in sales in your business. So in your mind, you're thinking like, okay, when I'm going to receive that sale, that means I'm going to be getting like 2,000 sales a day or within an hour. And we have this imagination because we all see God as great. So we have that same expectation. When the blessing comes, it's going to be shebang in our face. We see, yes, this is God. And that is where the issue is. And most of the time, people even end up giving up because they're not seeing that shebang big result. They feel like my God is not hearing my prayer, so I'm wasting my time. Let me just stop praying and let me just leave the business or go back to a full-time job. And this is where the problem comes in. You need to realize the way God blesses, sometimes it depends on the situation, but when God is giving increase, most of the time that increase is, you're not going to see it just like boom, you start making 20 orders within an hour, 20,000 orders within a day. That will happen gradually, but what you're going to notice when God is blessing your business, you're going to notice certain things changing. Do you understand? You're going to notice there's an increase. You're going to notice an increase in sale. And when I'm talking about increase, don't get me wrong, there is a verse in the Bible where it says, I believe in First Corinthians, where it talks about you have to plant and water. In other words, you have to do your part, and God brings the increase. So what you need to understand, like I told you guys before, don't just pray and expect God to do the magic. You're going to notice there's going to be increase in your sales or whatever you do. You're going to notice that when you're doing things right, you're doing your part and you're praying, you're fasting, you're doing what you need to do, declaring the word of God in your business, you're going to notice suddenly increase. Sometimes you might be having unexpected contracts. Do you understand? You're like, oh, how did I get this contract? You're going to notice suddenly a bit of increase, some increase in your sales. You're going to notice sometime engagement within your customers. Maybe before there wasn't any much engagement with the customer. You want your customer to be engaged with you more. You're going to notice those things is happening. But you need to pay attention, because from there, because the Bible talks about God gives the increase. So that increase, like I'm saying, is not going to happen just suddenly. You wake up one day, oh, there's a big bush there, the house is built. No, it's gonna be happening gradually, step by step, as long you're also doing your part. Because you need to remember, God is not going to be the one who's going to be marketing for you. You are the one who's marketing the business. He's going to be doing the part of for the post to be landing at the right people, touching people's hearts. Person might just be scrolling down and then you see your post like, oh, something about this, let me buy it, let me email this company. Do you understand? So it's like you're in a partnership with God. So you're gonna notice more like rain, and then it's going to build up, and then it's going to build up. Because what you need to also understand, sometimes if God just blesses us like in this big blessing comes straight away, sometimes it can also be dangerous for us in the way that we might not be able to cope. You might not be able to be coping with those volume of orders. You might not be able to focus to give the best customer service because of the number of the customer that you're having. So God has to do it in a smart way that you're gonna notice, oh, this has been going up every week, every month. Then your part is going to be, you are going to be planning. So if you notice there's an increase, and then you're gonna might say, oh no, we need more people in HR department, we need more people in the marketing, we need more people to do more delivery, because I notice every week and every month the orders is a lot, but we don't have enough staff. So he does it in the way that is step by step, so as also you can plan. So God gives you that plan time to also plan, even though you have planned, but you have never experienced certain blessings. So he's gonna lead you to that blessing, because those small steps is the one is going to lead you in the higher step. Because you have to remember, even in the book of Genesis, God did not create the world in the one day. It was every for 6 days. This day he will proclaim a word, and then the next day he can proclaim a word. So he planned. One thing people need to realize, God does plan. And most of the time I notice us believer in God, most of people in believer in God, most of the time they don't plan. They just expect God to do it. The example I might give you, there are people, I'm not judging nobody, but there are people, they will just keep on having baby, but they never plan. They never make a plan. Okay, if we already have 2 kids, we want to have the third one, at least let's make a plan. How is our finance? How is our jobs? Most of believers, one thing I come across is they don't plan. They just have this, I want to start a business, but you ask them, okay, who are you targeting? Or everyone. When you tell me you're targeting everyone, you're really not targeting nobody, because you're selling to everyone. You're not selling to any person. Oh, okay, then what's the price range? Oh, I really don't have a price range. Do you understand? So you have to plan. You have to make sure that you are planning, because that's why God does it in the step. The blessing comes in the stage by stage to give you time to be able to plan. Like I gave you example, like if you notice that every week your sale is going up, you might say, okay, then I noticed that every week, every month the sales are going up, we're having more order, we need to add more delivery guys, we need to add more on this one, we need to increase how many units we order every month. So that is how it works. It does not, the blessing of God, it doesn't just come, he doesn't just give it like to shove it on your face, and then you get this blessing, and then you overwhelm yourself, and you might not even know exactly what to do with it. So you have to make sure that you're planning. There is a verse in the Bible, it says that I have good plans for you. That was what God was saying. I have good plans for you. I believe is in the book of Isaiah. I have good plans for you. So when he talked about plan, that means he does plan. He plans for us. So we also have to plan, because when you have a plan of your business, you are going to notice when things are changing. It's very hard for you to miss when God is blessing your business. You're going to notice that increase in almost every area, even in the way you think. Even when you're thinking, okay, then what are these, what new ideas, how can I develop or improve my business? You're going to start having inspiration. God is going to start showing you certain areas of your business that needs to be fixed, that needs to be changed. So it's very hard when you have plans there for you to not notice God is blessing you. So like I said, the way God blesses people is stage by stage when it comes to business. business. Because like I said, if it just gives you 10,000 orders in a day, imagine yourself how you going to handle it. Is it, are you going to end up in the next month full complain because the things were not on time, things were not done properly? So you have to know that don't give up on prayer for your business. Keep praying, trusting God, but pay attention on the things that is changing. It's gradually. Don't think like, oh, I only there has only been an increase of 10%. Yes, that 10%, it was God who's the one who has brought that increase. That 20%, yes, it was God who's the one who gave you that increase. That 30%, you gotta keep on going until you're gonna notice that the big outcome of what you are looking for is going to become in one big package fulfilled. And then you're going to notice, oh, so God was working with me all this time. Like I said to you at the beginning, if you go to the book Genesis, you're going to know God did not create the whole world, everything in one day. It was like this day he would say, let there be light, let there be sea, let there be sky, let there be this. So everything was being planned. Even the coming of Jesus Christ, it was planned. You know, everything was planned. There's not, God doesn't do things just out of the blue. He plans things. So you also, as a business owner, I'm going to encourage you and tell you that you need to start planning. Don't just, yes, plan for your business. And this verse, what I'm going to leave with you is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 5. It talks about planning. The one who plans, the profit. Those who don't plan, they end up just spending anyhow, doing business anyhow. So start planning for your business. God is blessing your business. You need to believe and trust that. Sometimes you may not see the 100% result. You're not seeing it. It's not that God is not blessing you, but God is blessing you step by step, stage by stage. All right. So guys, if you're not yet subscribed on this channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead, subscribe and leave your comment. And I'll see you again on the next video. Bye bye for now.